Political activist and professor, prisoner and Nobel Peace Prize laureate, Liu Xiaobo was many things in his lifetime. It was in the 1989 student-led protests for democracy that Liu first came into public prominence. He had returned from the US to take part in the demonstrations. When the tanks prepared to roll into Tiananmen Square, he negotiated a safe exit for a handful of protesters. Several hundred, possibly several thousand people were killed in the crackdown. More than 1,600 others were subsequently jailed, Liu included. In 1996, he was again sentenced, this time to 3 years in a labor camp, for criticizing China's one-party system.
People like Hu Ji, like me, maybe we are a minority in China, but even if we are a minority, I think that our right to express our opinion and to criticize our government should be guaranteed and respected.
Liu's greatest offense, in the eyes of the Chinese government, was to co-author a document promoting political reform and human rights in China. He was sentenced to 11 years in jail in 2009 for inciting subversion of state power.
So he set out a blueprint for an alternative path to China's political trajectory, one that hasn't been followed, but I think people will increasingly pay attention to in years to come.
In 2010, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Still imprisoned and with his wife under house arrest in China, he was represented at the awards by an empty chair. But Liu never lost faith in his country. His Nobel acceptance speech was from a statement he had penned just before he was sentenced.
I firmly believe that China's political progress will not stop, and I, filled with optimism, look forward to the advent of a future free China. For there is no force that can put an end to the human quest for freedom, and China will in the end become a nation ruled by law, where human rights reign supreme.
Liu never lived to see that day. He was diagnosed with terminal liver cancer in May. In Hong Kong, supporters held candlelight vigils, demanding the Chinese government release him, to allow him to return to his home in Beijing or seek treatment abroad. Those demands fell on deaf ears. China's Nobel Peace Prize laureate died in hospital, a political prisoner to the end.